Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you in ASP.NET Core MVC application how to insert the selected radio button value into SQL Server database. And here we got the final output. Notice the header tag, insert selected radio button value into SQL Server database using ASP.NET Core MVC. And below that we have the three radio button controls, which are BMW, Honda and Toyota. Now let's select I want to insert the BMW, the car. Before insert this BMW value, first let's check the database table. I'm executing the cars table. The statement is executed successfully. Notice we got the results. Right now this course contains 0 rows. Let's insert the BMW. Create. And here we got a message. The selected radio button value BMW is saved successfully. Let's insert. This time I'm selecting Toyota. Create. See here the selected radio button value is Toyota. Let's check the database. We have inserted two records. One is BMW and Toyota. Let's execute this statement again. Execute. See here we got the records BMW and Toyota. That's it. We have implemented ASP.NET Core MVC to insert the selected radio button value. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before writing the coding part in ASP.NET Core, to save the selected radio button values, first let's create a new table in SQL Server Management Studio. Let me expand the root folder as well as the databases. Notice in this databases there is an EMP database, which is my user database. I want to create a new table in this database. Let me expand this EMP databases. If you notice in the tables folder, right now we've got only one table exists, which is the employee table. Let's create a new table. Select the database EMP, right click the mouse, new query. Let's start the query to create a table. Create table cars. The table name is cars. Let's add some columns. Car ID, integer type, not null. I'm adding primary key, and the column is auto-generated column, and the car name, and varchar 150. Let's create the table. Execute. And here we got a message: command completed successfully. Let me refresh this tables folder. Refresh, and notice we got the cost table is added successfully into this EMP database. Let's browse the table. Select the cars. Select top 1000 rows. And here we got the results of this cost table, which contains two columns. Right now this cost table contains 0 rows. Let's insert some values into this table using ASP.NET Core with radio buttons. Let's open Visual Studio. For this video tutorial, I'm creating a new ASP.NET Core application. Go to File, New, Project, and from the project I'm selecting the ASP.NET Core Web application. Click Next. I'm adding the project name, insert radio button value Core MVC. Click Create. And from the templates I'm selecting the web application with model view control, and also the version I'm using 3.0 ASP.NET Core. Create. And the project is created successfully. Let's close this default window. Now in this project first, I'm adding my connection string in this app settings.json file. Let's open the app settings.json file. Now in this file, between double curly braces, I'm adding a connection strings, colon, curly braces, between double quotes, I'm adding my connection string name, connection, colon, and in these double quotes, I'm adding my connection string data source. So to get the data source, open Server Explorer. In the Server Explorer, there is a data connections. Right click that one, add connection. Let's add the SQL server name. After adding SQL server name, now I'm selecting the database name. The table I have created in this EMP database, so I'm selecting this EMP database. Test connection is succeeded. OK. And here the emp.dbo is added under data connections. Now we require the data source of this EMP. Right click the mouse, go to properties. Now in the properties, notice there is a connection string which contains the data source. Just copy that one and paste between these double quotes. And the final step in this JSON file, we need to add comma after the curly brace. Then after adding the data source in the app settings.json file, now open Solution Explorer. We'll add a class in this models folder. Right click the models folder, add, and selecting class. And the class name is car class. Click add. And here we got our car class. Now in this car class, I'm just defining the properties. So before adding the properties, we need to import the namespace using system.componentModel.dataInitials. After adding the dataInitials package, now in this car class, I'm adding the key method first, and let's create the property prop double tab, which creates the property. And the first property, the type is integer type, and the property name, we have to add about the column names in the table. So the first column name is car ID. Just copy that one and paste here. And the next column name, property dot, which is a string type, and the column name is car name. Copy that one and paste here. So after adding the properties in this car class, next open Solution Explorer. We'll create another class in this model folder for the DB context. Let's right click the models folder, add class, and the class connection, the name is connection string class, add. Now in this connection string class, I want to inherit the DB context class. So add the colon DB context. So this DB context class belongs to the Microsoft.Entity Framework code package. So let's import this package by using Microsoft.Entity Framework. If you notice in this drop down list, we don't have any entity framework code package. So let's install the package. Before that, let's delete that code as well as colon dbcon. Otherwise we'll get an error. Open Solution Explorer. Now before installing the packages, first we'll check the dependencies folder, expand the dependencies, and notice in the dependencies there is no any package folder. Now let's add the required packages for this application. Right click the project name, manage nested packages, click browse, and search for Microsoft.Entity Framework core. Enter. And this is a package I want to install. Select that one, and the version I'm installing 3.0. Install. Click OK. Let's accept the license. And the package is installed successfully. Now let's check in the Solution Explorer. Now in the dependencies folder, notice we got the packages folder is added. Let's expand the packages folder. We'll have the Microsoft.Entity Framework core just we have installed. Now let's install the necessary package for this project. Come to the bottom, we require this design also, Entity Framework core.design, and the version is 3.0. Click install. Okay, accept the license, and the design package is also installed. Now we require the SQL Server package, which is this one. Click install. Okay, I accept the license. And here we got the SQL Server is also installed successfully. Now the last one, we require the tools. Select the tools, click install, click OK. Let's accept the license. And the tools package is also installed successfully. Up to now we have added 4 packages. Open Solution Explorer. Notice here we got some error here, so let's delete this one, remove this package, and install again this design package. Click install. And design is installed successfully. Now let's check. Now this time it is installed successfully without any errors. Now after adding the necessary packages to our project, now let's close this Nugget package window, and as well as the connection error list and the output message windows also. Now let's import the namespace using Microsoft.Entity Framework core, and then in the connection string class let's add the DB context. And connection string class, let's create the constructor CTOR double tap. It creates a constructor. Now in this constructor I'm adding the DB context options, and the T context type I'm adding the class name connection string class options colon base options. Now after the constructor I'm adding a property, double tap, and the property type is a DB set. In the DB set I'm adding the entity type you are getting from the car class, and this car class contains our properties, and this property name I'm adding our table name. Our table name is a cars. Copy that one and paste here. And after that we need to add the services in the startup.cs file. Open Solution Explorer. In the project, notice at the bottom there is a startup.cs file. Open that one. Now in this page I am adding the services in configure services, but before that we need to import the namespaces using Microsoft.Entity Framework core, then using a project name, insert project name.models folder. After adding these 2 packages, now come bottom to the configure services method. Let's add the services dot add DB context. In this DB context I'm adding the connection string class, then options dot use SQL Server method. In this SQL Server I am adding my connection string configuration dot connection string get connection string method, and this get connection string method takes a string parameter. So string is double quotes, and the parameter, the name I am adding my connection string name, which we get in this app settings.json file. Open that one. Our connection string name is my connection. Copy that one and paste between these double quotes. That's it. Now the last we require the controller. For that, open Solution Explorer. The controller I am adding in this controllers folder. So right click the controllers, add. I am selecting controller. And the controller I am selecting MVC controller empty. Click add. And the controller name is car controller. Click add. And here we got our car controller. Now in this car controller, first let's import the namespaces using Microsoft Entity Framework Core, and also I'm adding my project name .models folder. Now in this controller, first I'm adding pivot read only. I'm adding connection string class underscore cc. Then let's create the constructor for this car controller, a CTOR double tab, which creates a constructor. In this constructor I'm adding connection string class cc underscore cc is equals to cc. And now here if you notice, the public iActionResult is the index method, which is a default index view page. Now I am adding the iActionResult create method. So this create method is HTTP GET public iActionResult create method return view. Then I'm creating another create method for HTTP post. This create method is HTTP GET. We don't need to add HTTP GET, but we need to add HTTP post method. After that, I'm adding another method validity anti-forgery token. Now in this action result create method, I'm adding emp car class and so car object. Now in this create method underscore cc dot add method. The add method I'm adding this object car object. Then let's go cc dot save changes method. Once the selected radio button value is inserted successfully, I want to display the message. For that I'm using viewback.message. Viewback.message is equals to the selected radio button value plus car object dot the car name is saved successfully semicolon. That's it. We have written the coding part. The selected radio button value is saved into database table. Now we require the view page for this create method. So before adding the view page for this project, we need to build the application first. Build solution, and the project builds successfully. Let's close this output message box. Select the create method, right click the mouse, add view. The view name is create and the template. I'm selecting the create template and the model class. Our model class is car class. So let's add the car class. Click add. And then the create view page is added successfully to our project. If you notice in the Solution Explorer, notice we have the views folder. Expand that one. In the views folder we have the car folder. Inside the car folder we have create.cshtml is added automatically when we are creating the create view page. And now let's change the heading. Instead of create, insert selected radio button value into SQL Server database. H3 ASP.NET Core MVC. After that I'm adding horizontal line. I don't require this H4 and horizontal line, delete that one. And below the horizontal line, notice the HTML elements are added automatically. So I don't require this car ID because it's a auto generated column. I'm deleting that one. And now here the car name, we notice the label and input type, which is a text box control. But I require the radio button controls. So after the input tag, input type is equals to radio, and name is equals to, here the name I'm adding the ASP for C name. Copy this one, this car name, sorry, copy this one and paste here, and value is equals to, the car is BMW, the car name. I'm adding the label BMW. Let's copy this one, paste here, and the second one is Honda, and the label is Honda, and the value next one is Toyota. Copy this one and paste here. Just for the demo purpose, I'm adding only 3 radio button controls. Now I don't require this input element, I'm deleting that one. And the last one, once the selected radio button value is inserted successfully, I want to display the message. For that, in the controller we have added viewback.message. This message I want to display on the browser, on this create view page. So I'm adding bold tag. In this bold tag, add viewback.message, and let's increase this column MD9. So this is a bootstrap class. That's it. We have done the complete coding part. But before run this application, the most important, we have to change the controller name of this application. To change the controller name, open startup.cs file, come to the bottom, in the configure method, notice the controller we is home, which is a default one. Our controller name is car controller. So just copy this car. I'm adding the controller name is car, and the action is equals to index view page, but our index view page is create. Let's add the create view page. Copy this one and paste here. That's it. Now it's time to check the results on the browser. Browse with. In the browser I'm selecting Google Chrome, set as default, click browse. And here we got the final output. Notice the header tag, insert selected radio button value into SQL Server database using ASP.NET Core MVC. And below that we have the 3 radio button controls, which are BMW, Honda and Toyota. Now let's select the I want to insert the BMW, the car. Before insert this BMW value, First, let's check the database table. I'm executing the cars table, and the statement is executed successfully. Notice we got the results. Right now this cars contains 0 rows. Let's insert the BMW, create, and here we got a message: the selected radio button value BMW is saved successfully. Let's insert, this time I'm selecting Toyota, create. See here the selected radio button value is Toyota. Let's check the database. We have inserted 2 records, one is BMW and Toyota. Let's execute this statement again, execute. See here we got the records BMW and Toyota. That's it. We have implemented ASP.NET Core MVC to insert the selected radio button value.